Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's WWE Monday Night Raw for November 18th, 2013. And this is Raw is Country. And I have nothing against country music, I just don't really see the correlation here between country music and wrestling and what the purpose of this is, but I guess we'll see what they do with it. So the show starts off with Triple H and Stephanie. They return and they say that Raw was in chaos last week without them. Randy Orton comes out. He's pissed off. He says they're trying to blame everyone but themselves. And Vicky and Brad Maddox come out. Maddox blames everything on Vicky. And Stephanie and Triple H put Vicky in a match against AJ later on tonight. And Maddox in a match against Randy Orton right now. No DQ. So Maddox tries to leave. Kane stops him. Kane doesn't get punished. I guess he's exempt. So it's Maddox versus Randy Orton. And Maddox did get some offense in. He took a cheap shot with the microphone, threw Orton into the ring post, hit a DDT. But after that, it was a straight-up ass-kicking. I mean, Randy Orton proceeds to beat the crap out of Brad Maddox. And I enjoyed this. He takes the microphone and just starts beating him in the head. And even though it's a no DQ match, the referee just calls it. He says Maddox is out. It's over. So Orton wins the match. And they carry Maddox out on a stretcher. But here's what I think happened. I think Randy Orton, when they were in the UK, he heard those Randy's boring chants, and he realized, hey, I gotta step my game up. So he shaved his head. It's like evil Randy Orton again, which is better for this character. And I think he's gonna start taking this role a little more seriously, which is good. And trust me, don't get me wrong, this was nothing fantastic, but it was good. I did like it. I thought it was entertaining. So this was a good way to start the show off. It's Big E Langston versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental title. And Big E wins with the big ending. So new Intercontinental Champion. I knew they would put the belt on him eventually. And I guess now is as good a time as any. So Big E's the new Intercontinental Champion. And backstage, Randy Orton's talking to the Shield. And he says he's talked to Triple H and Stephanie, and everybody's on the same page now. So the Shield's going to watch his back. And the Shield says, okay, but you also have to watch our back. So it's musical chairs with the Divas. This was terrible. It was so stupid. You got all the Divas, they're wearing country outfits, they're playing this country song, and they all have to go around and play musical chairs. And it was just, oh my god, so bad. And the best part about this was JBL just shitting all over it, saying, this is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. That was the best part. So they go around a few times, then they all start fighting, and the regular Divas get knocked outside the ring. The cast of Total Divas is in the ring, and they're like, oh, you want some? Come on, get in here. And it was really annoying to see JoJo's little ass acting like she's somebody. But they play the Total Divas theme song, and then in the corner it says Total Divas on Sundays. So the whole thing was just one big commercial, and I thought it was absolute shit. It's Big Show versus Ryback. And unfortunately for me, I was eating supper during this match. And Ryback gets Big Show in a headlock, and there is this huge booger on Big Show's face. It was disgusting, man. But Ryback goes to pick Big Show up, and you can clearly hear him say, slow down, to Ryback. But Ryback hits Big Show with Shell Shocked. Big Show kicks out, knocks out Ryback, gets the win. But I thought this was okay, and Ryback looked pretty strong here, you have to admit. But Randy Orton comes out to attack Big Show. Big Show sees him, spears him. Randy Orton runs away. Backstage, Zack Ryder's talking to the country singers. And 3MB comes up and they do some comedy. I thought it was okay. Orton's backstage icing up his ribs. And he's pissed off. The Shield didn't help him out. And they were supposed to have his back. So now he's all angry at the Shield and the Authority. We get the Real Americans versus Kofi and Miz. And there's a ton of Cesaro section signs in the crowd, which I thought was really cool. And Kofi comes out. He looks like a pirate. Reminded me of Paul Burchill. And there was a funny spot in this match where Swagger clotheslines Miz on the outside and yells, "Welcome to America." Miz is from Cleveland. This doesn't make any sense, Swagger. But Kofi needs a tag, so he's reaching for Miz, and Miz jumps off the apron, essentially turning heel. And Swagger gets Kofi in the ankle lock, and Kofi taps out. So the Real Americans win the match, but Miz turned heel here. I don't think it's a big deal at all. Instead of losing as a babyface, he's just going to start losing as a heel. I mean, I don't think anything's going to change for the guy. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. They changed Big E Langston's music. Why did they do that? Sounds much worse in my opinion. So Vicky's trying to get out of her match with AJ. So she goes to the trainer's room and acts like she fainted. Of course she waits until the camera's there to do this. And they put her on a stretcher, and Stephanie says, "This woman is dehydrated. Take her to the hospital after you take her to the ring for her match." So they take Vicky to the ring. It's Vicky versus AJ. This was a huge waste of time. Vicky keeps acting like she's fainting. She needs water. They give her a bottle of water. Now, if you don't know, AJ Lee recently fainted at a house show because of dehydration. And watching WWE do this whole thing with Vicky Guerrero, basically making fun of AJ, just felt like bullying to me. It was just really mean. Like, what a bunch of assholes. Do you know how embarrassing that would be to be a wrestler and have something like that happen where you faint in front of a live crowd, and then WWE just turns around and makes fun of you? Like, that's gotta make a person feel like shit. So I didn't like this at all. I thought it was stupid. AJ makes her tap to the Black Widow. That was the only move in the match. And then afterwards, Vicky faints again. Triple H tells Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow that they're going to have a Broadway brawl tonight. And he says, "I don't know what that is, but I'm sure you guys can make it entertaining." So we get the Broadway brawl, which is basically just a bunch of musical instruments. And I gotta give these guys credit. It was a little silly, but they worked their asses off to make this good. And I thought it was an entertaining match. They did use the gimmicks. Dolph Ziggler starts slamming the drum set on top of Damien Sandow, and then he does the Jeff Jarrett strut and hits him in the head with the guitar. And Cole, they never actually say Jeff Jarrett, but Cole, King, JBL, they're making a lot of references to him, saying he can be Double Z, or all he needs now is Road Dogg out there singing for him, stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool. So Randy Orton asked Triple H and Stephanie if they have confidence in him as the face of the WWE, and they say they have to think about it. Cena comes out, he's got his arm in a sling, he cuts a long promo about being in Boston for Survivor Series, his family's going to be there. It was just typical babyface promo stuff. Alberto Del Rio comes out and says that a real champion takes advantage of opportunities. So he gets in the ring like he's going to attack Cena, and Cena reveals that the sling was just a trick. He doesn't need it, he's fine. He fights off Del Rio, that was it. Didn't care for this at all. It was very long too. 3MB, or the Rhinestone Cowboys. The only reason I found these guys to be even slightly entertaining was because of Heath Slater, the one-man bam baby. But they face R-Truth and Xavier Woods. And the match was alright, I guess. Xavier Woods hits Gail Kim's Eat Defeat finisher on Drew McIntyre for the win. And that was pretty much it. I don't really care for Xavier Woods. He doesn't do anything for me. So I wasn't impressed or anything. Backstage, Randy Orton is talking to Triple H and Stephanie, and they tell him that they thought about it, and they do have confidence in him as the face of the WWE, but he's going to have to be Big Show at Survivor Series with no help, no interference, no shield, and then he can prove he deserves to be the face. If they put the belt on Big Show, what a load of shit. They're going to give Big Show a run with the belt, but they couldn't give Daniel Bryan a run with the belt after everything they put him through, and now he's back to the mid-card. Seriously? What sense does that make? I'm hoping they don't do that. I'm hoping they don't put the belt on Big Show. But I just got this bad feeling. I got a bad feeling that they will, and he's going to keep the fucking thing. They're not going to screw him over for some reason. Alright, so it's the main event. You got CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, the Usos, Goldust and Cody Rhodes versus The Shield and the Bray Wyatt family. A lot of people were upset that they were going to do Punk and Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan at Survivor Series instead of like the traditional Survivor Series match. But this, for the most part, was your Survivor Series match on Raw. And I thought these guys did a good job out there. Maybe it's just me, but CM Punk looked to be moving really slow out there. Like I said, maybe it's just me, but the match was pretty good. I really liked how Daniel Bryan's getting beat down, and he's trying to make a tag, and the Shield and the Wyatts just charge the baby faces and knock them all off the apron. I thought that was cool. But the match breaks down into chaos. The Shield and the Wyatts were working together, which was cool. But the match breaks down, and everybody starts hitting finishers on each other, and Punk hits the GTS on Dean Ambrose, gets the win, and all of a sudden the Real Americans run out. And the Real Americans and the Wyatts start beating up Punk and Daniel Bryan. And who returns but Rey Mysterio Jr.? What the fuck is he going to do in there against these giants? This was stupid. So Rey Mysterio runs in, he takes out the Wyatts and the Real Americans, and then all the baby faces celebrate. And that was the end of Raw this week. So I can only hope that the Wyatts go over at Survivor Series. They have to beat Punk and Daniel Bryan. Have to. And also, I said earlier that Daniel Bryan is back in the mid-card. I don't necessarily feel he's in the mid-card. I mean, he is part of a really big storyline with the Shield and the Wyatts. So I wouldn't say he's in the mid-card just yet, but he's not in the title picture anymore. That's for damn sure. But as far as Raw goes this week, I thought it was an average show. I can't say this was a good show. This was a long 3 hours. I liked the main event. Ziggler, Damian Sandow. I had some good stuff, but it also had the musical chairs. Vicky Guerrero making fun of AJ. R-Truth and Xavier Woods versus 3MB. Just a lot of filler. But it had a hot crowd. The crowd was into damn near everything except that R-Truth Xavier Woods 3MB match. That's the only time I think they kind of died off. But yeah, even Ryback versus Big Show was pretty good, but really just felt like an average show to me this week. So anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments, and thanks for watching.